All right, we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. My name is Tyrone Irvin. This is Soapbox Heroes. Let me see. I got too many sounds coming out of too many places. Yep, this is Tyrone Irvin. This is Soapbox Heroes. Today we are here and we're going to be talking about a few things on this Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be talking about gentrification. And then we're going to move on from there. And after that, we're going to be talking about the Facebook ban. Facebook is out here putting bans on my mans. So we're going to talk about those two things. We got a very, very, very special, distinguished panel of a panel of guests today. And so we're going to get into that. And like I said, we have a few things that we're going to talk about. And when we talk about gentrification, we're going to come from an article out of Forbes that was printed on February 20th, 2019. It's called Inside Nipsey Hussle's Blueprint to Become a Real Estate Mogul. And so we're going to come from there real quick and let me introduce everybody. Nasha, you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Nashanae. I have a YouTube channel of my own. It's called Paper Doll Houses. It's out to help a lot of women with a lot of issues they may have going on, kind of like free therapy for women, and having them the ability to find themselves and kind of break generational curses to produce a better future for their kids and their future generations.
Okay, so what do you guys do? You guys come on and what do you like exactly? You guys discuss topics or do people come on and they just say what's on their mind?
It's a little both. It could be a topic type of conversation where I'll ask them a question kind of based off of what I've seen or what's going on in the world, or we can get into deep more their personal life, everything that they've been through, and kind of where they came from and where they are now versus kind of getting through it so they can teach other young women how to get past any past aggressions they have going on and they can move forward. The suicide rate with young women are really high right now. So it's my job to want to stop that.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. So again, that's Paper Doll Houses. I've been trying to tell Nasha to put up some more content. I've been pushing her, so you guys jump in or however. How do people communicate nowadays? Inboxes and DMs and all that stuff. Jump in there and push her to get on with it. Robert.
Anybody that wants an interview can have one.
Okay. All right. Robert, you want to take a second and let everybody know who you are?
Nah, but I'll do it anyway. I'm that humble. It doesn't matter if anyone knows my name. No, Robert Kelly, friend of the people, political science major, dad. There's the boy. So don't start cussing me out, people. Let's keep it family friendly. And I'm just happy to be here today.
Hey, I don't think nobody gonna cuss you out. If they do, just don't let him read the live chat. You know, I think that's where it happens is the live chat. And we glad to have you. Hey, you guys got to check Robert out. Robert does a political commentary and gives his thoughts on politics. And it's good to know what's going on. Somebody good to listen to. Like I don't know who to describe him. I've been trying to figure out who I could just pair him with and say they're similar, but he got his own style. It's kind of hard. So I'm gonna figure that out. But Salik, you want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Peace and blessings, family on the panel. Peace and blessings to the viewers of the Soapbox Hero channel. I'm Salik YFL. I'm your community advocate, also the Aboriginal jurist from the Shiamu tribal government. So looking to build my people today. So let's get on.
Also, AKA the professor. He tried to leave that out.
Yeah, I forgot. AKA.
Yeah. Also known as the professor. So, all right, you guys. Yeah, I'm going for a little bit of context. I'm going to share my screen here. And let me get back to YouTube. I was over here trying to share on some other social media platforms. I don't even want to say it out loud because they banning people. And then I wonder if YouTube get mad when you say something about another rivaling social media company. Joy's Chit Chat, awesome topic. Thank you for tuning in, Joy. Betty Booze with the smiley face. We smiling back. All right, so I'm going to show my my screen. And again, this is just to set up some context. This is where we're going to this is just kind of our takeoff point for the conversation. Talking about gentrification. All right, that's the screen right there. And right here it says, inside Nipsey Hussle's blueprint to become a real estate mogul. All right, and it's written by Zach O'Malley Greenberg, a Forbes staff. It says Hollywood and Entertainment. He's the senior editor of Media and Entertainment. And this was written on February 20th, 2019. And this was actually before the untimely passing of Nipsey Hussle. This was before all that stuff started to unravel. And so at the beginning, it's just basically going over what happened at his untimely demise. And so I'm going to, I think I'm gonna just go past that. You know, I'll look at, there's only one part in here where they're actually talking about the topic. And so, yeah, I'll start right here. I'll start at the beginning and then I'll stop and scroll down. It says, the tattered stretch of West Lawson Avenue, just off of Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, isn't the first place you'd expect to see a Cadillac Escalade roll up and deliver a Grammy-nominated musician. At this tiny strip mall on the south side of the street, storefronts include an off-brand taco joint, a Boost Mobile outlet, and an accountant's office advertising same-day tax refunds and advances up to $6,000. This is where Nipsey Hussle decided to spend his Friday morning, and good reason. His Marathon clothing store, which peddles Crenshaw hoodies alongside his music, occupied the corner of an L-shaped plaza. History here goes back even further. In fact, it's where he got his name. And as a matter of fact, this isn't the article that's talking about his death, because this article was written before his death. Sorry about that. I've read a few articles on this subject. So let me scroll down. It says, this is where Nipsey Hussle decided to spend his recent Friday morning, and for good reason. His marathon, read that. Before we was renting here, I was hustling in the parking lot, says Nipsey, 33, born in Marez, Ashgabat. It was always a hub for local entrepreneurs. Change is coming to Crenshaw, and Nip is aimed to be in its bleeding edge. This month, Nipsey Hussle and business partner Dave Gross swooped in to pay a couple of million for the plaza. Within 18 months or so, they'll look to knock everything down and rebuild it as a 6-story residential atop a commercial plaza, and revamped Marathon store will be the anchor tenant. All right. In the meantime, a light rail line is raising the link to Crenshaw, which crucially qualifies as a tax advantage opportunity zone. To Los Angeles International Airport and other key nodes of spewing Southern California, the plaza will be amongst the first to benefit. There's a new train station under construction just steps away. So basically saying that, there you go. Thanks, Nasha. It was saying, so basically it's saying that the Marathon store is right by a rail line that they were building. And so basically it falls under a good spot for the tax advantages called the opportunity zone. And so opportunity zones are a tax advantage that people are getting. Okay. Let me see. All right. And see, now they get into record sales. And so I'm going to scroll down just so we don't be wasting these good people's time. And again, I gave out the information on where you can find the article if you want to read the full article. And I will make sure that I give it out again. All right. Okay. Okay. It says, at the time, Nipsey was looking for other ways to expand his empire. He met Gross, a private equity and real estate investor, courtside at the Lakers game several years ago. We started drinking tequila, Nipsey said. By the third quarter, we were more friendly. They bonded over Gross's idea for an inner city co-working space known as Vector 90. They eventually teamed up to buy the plaza on West Slauson, currently zoned for buildings to max out 40 units. Nipsey and Gross are aimed for 100 units, requiring a lengthy entitlement process, so they've been working with the city and local council members on the details, hence the long timeline. And they're building smart. Buried in the tax overhaul of 2017 is a provision to encourage investment in state-designated low-income enclaves known as opportunity zones. Under the law, investors can shift capital gains to institutions located in these areas, where the capital is taxed at a reduced rate. New opportunity investments can grow tax-free. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. So basically, there are no limits on the money that can be plowed into opportunity zones or the amount of tax that can be avoided. It is possible this program is excessively business friendly. Not for its ambiguous goals, backers say. The incentives need to be powerful enough that it can unlock large amounts of capital, aggregated the capital into funds, and force the funds to invest in distressed areas. Billionaire Sean Parker told Forbes last year, instead of having government handouts pull of taxpayers' dollars, you'll have savvy investors directing money into projects they think will succeed. Parker was a part of the diverse group of opportunity zone proponents that included Senator Tom Scott of South Carolina, a Republican, and Cory Booker of New Jersey, a Democrat. Like Parker, they argued that bold moves are necessary to fix entrenched ills. To qualify for the program, an area must have a medium household income less than 80% than nearby neighborhoods, or poverty rate is at least at 20%. All right. Let me scroll down a little more. I'm almost done. I just want to set this up properly, you guys, so people see where we're coming from. And again, this is an article out of Forbes. This is the quintessential opportunity zone investment, says Gross. The law is supposed to support ground-up entrepreneurs, giving opportunity and jobs to all communities and improving the neighborhood. The purchase of the plaza also marks the beginning of a coalition called Our Opportunity, led by Gross, Nipsey, and a founding partner. That will aim to team with local legends in 10 cities as a part of broader opportunity zone-based funds. From there, Nipsey envisions building a tax-advantaged lifestyle empire, all linking back to his music. Then it has a quote that says, "The vision is to launch franchises," says Nipsey, imagining a line of the Marathon clothing store, barbershops, fish markets, and restaurants. There's such a narrative to this parking lot. That's part of my story as an artist. All right. Let me stop sharing that. All right, you guys. Let me hear. All right, Nasha.
Yes. Sorry.
It's a little fuzzy on my end.
No, it's me. It's me. Yes.
Oh no, I was reading the comment from the threes. Okay. Okay, let me work on that. Nasha, earlier you were telling me that you read where gentrification started. Why don't we start right there and then we could get into the topic of gentrification.
Yeah. Okay. So from what I saw, it was coined in 1964 by a British sociologist by the name of Ruth Glass. She was referring to alterations she observed in the social structure and housing markets in certain areas of basically of inner London. So, and from what I saw, it was basically trying to get everybody, you changing society standards in order for everybody to act the same. It kind of reminded me of the Hunger Games, like get everybody to be the same in a way.
Okay. Here, I'm adding Robert back to it. So you said it was meant to be like the Hunger Games.
That's what it reminded me of. It was kind of taking, societal standards and changing it around so it fits properly with it's basically, it says once this process of gentrification starts in a district, it goes on rapidly until all or most of the working class occupiers are displaced and the whole social character of the district is changed. So they're going to do everything they can to change the character of the district by, changing different standards or different little things like that around.
Okay, well, let me ask you guys, and Salik, is gentrification always a bad thing? Can gentrification be good? What do you think about gentrification?
Yeah, gentrification is a good thing, and because of how it started, like she was saying, it was started back in the 14th century, and supposedly the woman by the name of Ruth Glass was the founder of the term gentrification, and she was a sociologist. So she was doing a lot to try to pretty much convince governments and their policies, all their public policy and stuff like that. So gentrification, when we define it, it actually means to renovate. You know what I'm saying? To bring a particular location or area up to the standards of that class of people via middle class, via rich, or whatever. Anytime there's renovation or construction in an area, it's always gentrification. It's just who benefits from the construction. It's what the question is the question. So it can be corporations who are benefiting from the construction and the development of that particular neighborhood. And also gentrification could be a negative impact on the ones who have low income families or for those who can't meet the rise in demand in the economy or how it's rising. So gentrification can affect many lives if the people are not adjusting to the times with jobs and being innovated. So it can hurt people, but in most cases it's good. And it's also good for the Black community. What we saw, what Nipsey was doing in other areas is to gentrify our own neighborhoods because it improves the wealth in our communities. And it also raised the market value of our communities. Not to say that we will be jobless, is that it will create opportunities for the jobless. So it just all depends on how we build it.
Okay, what about the people who would be displaced by gentrification?
The ones who will be displaced, like we're saying, it affects them. It affects them. So, but like I said, it all depends on who is gentrification, who gentrifying the neighborhood or their community. Could it be people who are community-based people who are trying to advance the community and the living situations for the ones there and provide opportunities? Or could it be corporations coming in and buying up areas for profit and for other gains? You see what I'm saying? So it all depends on who is the who's behind the financial backing of it and the purpose.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, what do you think about gentrification? Can gentrification be a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Let us know what you think about just gentrification in general, and then we'll nail down a little more on some exacts.
Okay. I'm not even gonna say I don't. As far as gentrification being good or bad, the gentrification that we're talking about today is bad. In most cases, it is absolutely bad. As a matter of fact, it's immoral. Reason being is because oftentimes they're not trying to gentrify middle class places to upper class places. They're not doing that. They're when they target it, it's basically corporate thugs targeting where they can make the most capital. So they're going to try to buy low and sell high. And that's the whole thing behind these opportunity zones. They made opportunity zones out of places because, trust me, it's an opportunity zone for people that already have money. That's not an opportunity zone for people that don't have money. It's not like it's all-out business opportunity zone. The people that are going to be benefiting from these opportunity zones are people that already have money to invest. Like, because Donald Trump is a real estate investor, and this is a way of him rubbing and washing the backs of his real estate investor friends by making it so that they can take advantage of low-cost real estate, pay no taxes, and then and build these places up, these low, and then jack the price up on the people that live there, displacing hundreds of thousands of people.
All right, Nashane, what do you think about gentrification? Could it ever be a good thing?
It could be, as long as it's taught properly. I was reading in that article at Nipsey Hussle that he found a book on marketing and the benefits of marketing, especially with the programs that he was doing. And I think I talked to you earlier about doing that Primerica thing, where they were always teaching on how to change your life from like a 9-to-5 job to a marketing. And I think if we all got the same idea and kind of focused on marketing, bigger marketing, and being able to evolve properly, I think it's possible to. Sorry, hold on.
The baby got something to say.
He does. He wants to say something.
Don't try to gentrify him up out of the room. He got something.
Trying to buy him out of here.
I think it's the community has to have the ability to work together to kind of change the gentrification. It's a good and a bad thing. Like he said, I don't know who was just talking. I'm so sorry. Who was talking before? I'm sorry.
Saying it was a good and a bad thing.
Well, it is good and bad, but we don't have the resources to kind of start it off. I think those that kind of like how Nipsey was starting it off with Marathon and kind of building it from there. I think that's what needs to happen, is that somebody needs to start it, and then everybody has to catch on and has to be taught, and marketing and building and all that from there. But I don't think a lot of people want to do that. So then it becomes bad because it.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you. What about the people that gentrification misplaces?
So for those that are kind of like in those working classes, the Latino, the poor, it does get bad, because then you have to start categorizing them and putting them in lower situations, like how it is basically now. And sorry. It's pretty bad. I was reading something right now about gentrification with the lower standard people and not being able to have the mind frame to build, from there. So I'm not really good at that answer right now.
All right, Salik, we're gonna let Nasha get her answer together. And Robert says that it's immoral. What do you think? Is it always immoral?
Well, immoral.
Immoral.
Immoral. Oh, immoral. Okay.
Immoral.
I will conclude the reason why he said that is because it's against your natural rights, your natural human rights on how they're developing. But I will let him go ahead and explain that more, since he just threw it out there like that. So I'm gonna let Robert finish that. But is it immoral? Here again, I go back to this saying. I say this. You got me on this one, man, because I want to answer correctly. So you got to give me time to think about this. All right, I gotta think about this.
I'm gonna give you time to think about it, Robert. How is it immoral, or is it immoral in places that are ran down with no hope? Is there ever a need for somebody to come and spruce up the
hood? Definitely, and I think that is but that is when this is what it basically comes down to. And this is a base principle that you guys need to understand. Everybody that is listening needs to understand that when the government allows corporations to do things that the government should be doing, you're always going to have miscarriages of justice. Point blank, period. Corporations have to be checked. Corporations have to be regulated, or they will take advantage of loopholes. They will take advantage, and they don't have any kind of moral compass. The only thing that guides a corporation is the bottom line. So let's look at the bottom line. How does because how does the regular people, how does a working class person get to the point where they can take advantage of a situation where gentrification is happening when the pay of working class people has only risen about 1% since 1976 against inflation? So we're basically the working poor. People now pay more taxes. The regular average person pays more in taxes now than they were paying as feudal serfs back in England, working for lords and kings and stuff. So this is slavery. So what's happening is when these type of opportunities open up, the only people able to take advantage of these types of opportunities is the 1%. The government, in the effort to scratch the back of their friends, especially when you're talking about a corporatist, bought and paid for government establishment, when what they're doing in order to scratch the back of their friends is they're opening up these opportunity zones. Now, when you say make it an opportunity zone, it sounds exciting to us because everybody loves more opportunity. Everybody wants to see the place that they grew up look a little better. But the only people that are benefiting from the opportunity in the long run is the 1% of people that have the money to be real estate investors. The people that are suffering are people that have always been suffering. They've always done it at the expense of other people. And you might say, hey, you know what? Well, they're going to be doing construction and there's going to be construction jobs. There's going to be these people. You don't understand the way that they work with these huge contracts. Let me ask you something. Well, you're in Houston, so it might be a little bit different. I'm in Southern California, though. And if I drive past the average construction site, the amount of Black people that I see or people that live in that actual neighborhood doing construction is about zero. About zero. Okay. So it's not about those jobs. I remember watching Maxine Waters when they were talking about creating jobs for Black people, and some white guy came up and was talking about Black people getting jobs doing picking and doing farm hand jobs. And Maxine Waters had to stand up and say, wait a minute, what about all these construction jobs and things of that nature? People from the city don't want it, just like you. They don't want to pick fruit and stuff like that. Like, why are you throwing Black people into those jobs? Why are you guys aren't opening up construction jobs and like that? The opportunities are low for those type of jobs for our people as it is anyway. And when you throw into the mix that we don't have the money to even piece up and get together and invest in part of these opportunity zones, it is a moral issue. You're displacing people from their homes and there is nothing they can do about it. There's no recourse with the government whatsoever because the government is mandating this stuff as well.
All right. Okay. And Salik, you heard his answer. Victoria McKay says, hi, Victoria. I haven't seen you in a while. Look, she shook Facebook a while ago. She said, I'm out of here. I'm glad to see you. She was a vanguard when it came to that. She shook Facebook before last week. She says, when you own your own property, you don't have to worry about gentrification. Do you have Do you have the option to sell or the option to stay? If you live in your neighborhood and you rent all your life, oh well.
That's not true. But she's absolutely right. The best bet you have is to own your own property. But let me tell you, there's a couple of different ways that gentrification happens. One is where they allow the corporates to come in and actually make money off of it. Another way that they do it is called eminent domain, where the government can offer you fair value for your home, force you out, and then turn your house into a public parking lot or a park. So that happens all the time as well.
All right. Here, Salik, go ahead.
No, due to the fact that he explained it, I mean, he was talking about it, and Robert was, going into it. It is immoral, but because the immoral deals with the conduct of an individual or a corporation, but it's justified because if corporations are the ones that are gentrifying neighborhoods, then you have to look at the moral conduct behind it. It's for financial gain. So that's the rule of law of business. So we got to respect it. So it's going to affect many lives. We know that. So, but yes, it is immoral. You know what I'm saying? Because when you deal with the moral side of things, you're dealing with the principles. You're dealing with Nipsey Hussles, dealing with other people who are building and growing their communities and building opportunities. When we say opportunities, it's a loose word, but opportunities is an opportunity to be employed, opportunities to get involved with entrepreneurialism, get into what we call is either educational or vocational. So, but everybody is not going to meet the demands to grow. Everyone's not going to be on a growing scale. So that's something that we have to realize and understand and respect, that there's always going to be low, middle, and high class. What they're trying to do now is cut out the middle and be high and be, rich and poor. So we got to understand and just respect the business ladder. So, but like you said, it is an immoral act, but it's only based on the conduct from the corporation or the individuals behind it. When you're dealing with gentrification, and I'm saying that because when you look at Boys in the Hood, the movie, Dad was talking about gentrification in the neighborhood, plain as day, about buying up property, how they doing this and doing that. So he was talking about how we need to buy our own communities, buy in our own communities, so that we can establish institutions like schools and farms and whatever else we need to do. So gentrification can be good for a community, but like I said, man, it all comes down to who's behind it. And if you argue that, my point, then I want to challenge you to answer that. If gentrification, like you said, is immoral. So watch how you use that word immoral, means it deals with conduct, right? So is it immoral that Nipsey Hussle was gentrifying his community as well as teaming with other Blacks in the community to do the same? Is that immoral?
Absolutely. And let me tell you why. Because this is examples. There are examples where what you can see, and I'll go and give the Midwest example because we can learn from other communities and how this happened in order to point that out. This is what happens when a community pops up and ties itself to a capitalist in order to build that community up. If you think about cities like Detroit, and you think about cities like South Bend, Indiana, where there was a capitalist that came along and basically built that city on an industry like car making, okay? But as soon as that capitalist decides that the working class people that they brought to that city to build their industry are not worth it anymore and they move on, what happens is the economy there is devastated. The people there are displaced. And then they sell that land, that low price, low property value land to high price developers. Okay. Nipsey Hussle wasn't anything but a high price developer. Okay. That's the role he was in with that. He was going to take that property, he was going to improve it, and the properties that he was going to make were not going to be something that was affordable for the people that the poor people in his neighborhood.
Wait, right there. You said it wasn't going to be affordable for the poor people in his neighborhood.
Absolutely not.
And how did you come up with that conclusion? Where did you get your information from?
Because when you improve on something, trust me, even though Nipsey might have had good ideas and wanted to do things for Black people, he was not doing it. He's trying to make money. Okay. He's a businessman. And anytime you're doing business, you're trying to make money. So let me ask you this. When have you ever seen anybody improve a property? When have you ever seen someone bring in other investors with him and they weren't trying to make money? It wasn't a bunch of people getting together because we're trying to give back to the community. It was a bunch of people that had said, we want to make the community look better and we want to make it more high profile, but that was to attract more high profile clients. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he was making plenty of money. He had a store right there. He has a storefront right there. He has all that already. He could have just made it nice and said, you know what? This is what it is. But they were trying to improve it by adding more places, and they were trying to make more money. That was the whole point.
They're going to put 100 apartment buildings on top, or 100 condos or something like that.
And they did the same thing right here. As you remember, they did the same thing right here in Riverside with UCR. Do you remember how the university in Ottawa, they used to have that hotel right next to Church's Chicken? I know you know about it because you grew up here, right?
Yeah.
And they tore that hotel, and a lot of people lived in that hotel. They tore that hotel down, and then what did they do? They made a business. They made businesses at the bottom, and then there was people living in the building there, and poor people that were living in a hotel. They can't afford to live in those apartments. Isn't that right, Tyrone?
All right. Well, hold on. Since you asked me a question, let me ask you a question. What were they doing in that hotel?
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Since you asked me a question, I should ask you a question. What were they doing in that hotel?
There was a poor neighborhood. There were people that were on drugs. There were people that most of the people there were, a lot of them were on drugs. There were prostitutes there. Yeah, that is true.
And people selling drugs and prostitutes there too.
Oh yeah, well of course, supply and demand. But the thing is, we're not going to, you know what I mean? Basically, doing drugs is an illness. Okay, it's an illness, and it's a result, and it's a result of basically people bringing drugs in and making drugs available to those people.
So gentrification, like you said, was immoral for Nipsey because he was trying to advance the financial wealth of that particular area.
Not his community, no, not of the area. He wasn't trying to advance his own financial wealth.
Okay, but listen, Robert. Right, he wasn't. But listen, it's the wealth of that general community, that area, because the price and the value of that area comes up. So it has to have value in order for him to make money. You just said it. So don't say it's about him. It's actually for the property. The property value in the surrounding areas will increase in value. And therefore, he increases financially and his business partners increase. Like you said, it's a business deal. So,
but some people might become homeless from that.
But some people could become homeless. But however, if we look at the community, and we look at how these communities are, right? These neighborhoods. It is the lack of opportunity. And like you said, the supply and demand of prostitution, drugs because it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Gang activity because it's there. There's nothing else that's thriving to scale high. So when you start to develop a community, then the mindset of the people in the community begins to change to some degree. You can't
the only
say
reason
that everybody
changes, sir, is because it's different people than was there before.
Okay, well, listen, well, that's a good thing, right? Because what you're saying is, if you're against gentrification, then what you're saying is you would rather keep poor neighborhoods poor and delinquent. And we can go ahead and so what is it though? So you have to be clear.
It's more the mind frame than anything. Because then you have the ability to.
All right, hold on, you guys here. Let's no, everybody's fine. Let's let Nasha get in. She haven't said much. You've been sitting here listening. What do you have to say? And I want to thank Marcus Wright for checking in. And the 3 T's. Look, the 3 T's says a lot of people are homeless and will be homeless and are. I want to thank Marcus Wright for checking in. Betty Boobs says, thank you, Robert. She also says, Robert is right. And her name is Betty Boobs. Robert, be careful.
Thank you, Betty.
She's coming for you.
All right. And Victoria's still in here. I want to say hi to Victoria again. So go ahead, Nasha. What were you saying?
Yeah.
I was saying that I do understand that there's going to be some individuals that are homeless, but those are the ones that are not even going to really push forward for it. I was reading something about there's going to be more decreased crime. That's the positive. An increase in local fiscal revenues occurs. There's going to be a social mixed witnesses increase in the area. So you have a more socially diverse kind of area because it seems like there's more of a money magnetized type of area, encouragement and increased viability of further development in the gentrified area. This development consequently reduces suburban sprawl, but at the same time, you might have the ability of increased crimes, or affordable housing area becomes scarce and eventually non-existent. It kind of reminds me of a really nice area that doesn't have a bus stop because they just don't want to mix up with the different types of population. That just kind of what it seems like to me.
Well, this will have a train, so
Okay.
it will be all kinds of people that could come through there to buy stuff. But what I'm saying is this: it's great for certain groups of people for sure, but at whose expense? It's going to be at the expense that everything else, at the same people that everything else is at the expense of, the poor people. And when you, what I'm saying, Salik, the solution is for the government to stop allowing the corporate America to do their job for them, and instead of allowing them to build up and raise prices, come in and subsidize housing, rebuild help the people that already live there build their communities up and raise their property values. Okay, don't let a corporate person come in and displace these people. Show these other people that as a government that you care about them living there and help them build their communities. That's what you do. Not give a tax cut to a already rich person, a 1% rich person, to go in there and build up and displace people. Care about the people. Who cares about these corporate idiots that already have more money than they can count? Who cares about giving them a tax break? They need to pay their fair share. Meanwhile, the people that are suffering, they've got to worry about where they're going to live and what they're going to do. And it's, oh, well, someone's benefiting. Yeah, people are benefiting, but when is it time for the worst of us to benefit? When is that their time?
Well, it's the same equivalent of if, it's a train coming and you have somebody on the track, you can either save that one person or you can save about 6 people to the side. Who are you going to kill off to kind of build? So you have to either have the tough mind frame to build and grow, or you want to take everyone with you and everyone's not really ready to go. So it is a positive and a negative to it. Are you going to save that one person? Or are you going to save the millions?
I'm going to save the millions.
That's how they see it.
No, they don't see it like that, because the only people making money is the people that already have money.
And how did they get that money to begin with? It's either some of them came from a generation of already having that type of money, or some of them actually had to build to get to that point. And some people that have had to build to get to that point, they're willing to cut off a lot of people because,
But we don't reward those people. We do not reward those people by giving them more. That does not help. What helps is when you go to the people that have nothing, right? And you give them some kind of hope. Something that you care about. You know what I mean? But the government never cared about this community, never cared about that community right there. That's the reason it's the way it is. And because someone else but then when when they're about to run a train through there and there's money to be made, now people want to build up. Now people care. But when there was nothing in that community, nobody cared. Everybody walked away from that community. Okay. And I commend Nip because on the base level, his heart, I'm sure he was the type of person like, look, I'm trying to make my community better any way that I can. It looks a mess over here and I want to build this place up and I want to see it and advance into the future. Yeah, on one end, but at the other end, people, what he was doing in some ways can be considered short-sighted. It can be,
How? Because he was trying to build.
And everything's not all good or all bad. There's pros and cons to everything. Yeah, there were pros. He was trying to build, but in the short but also you got to remember that there would have been people displaced in that community that would have nowhere to go because of their economic where they are economically. And that's just a fact.
That's the issue. It's not even taught. I think marketing and skills and business, like in business-minded minds, need to be taught And even just aside from that, just aside from somebody building something, let's just take that off the table. Like Tyrone said, there needs to be classes on this, actual free classes where we can teach those, and from that we could take an area of people and take that same like-minded type of people. They're going to build something big, and they basically have their own gentrification because they basically started their own big thing, and they start building from there, and they start feeding everybody else around them. But we don't feed everyone else around us. We feed ourselves first, and then we try to feed everyone else as long as they try to pick up. It's
That's
more of an
right.
egotistic.
And
Yeah,
right.
go ahead, Salik.
and that's what you just said. That's the importance of understanding Vector 90. Vector 90 was there to support and do some mentorships, workshops, to try to scale people up, to think higher in themselves, to go and get the vocational in the education. So that's why you see things like Vector 90 put in place for the community to go and get developed, to learn. You know what I'm saying? And they have free workshops. They have a lot of stuff like that there. So I'm saying this, when we build opportunities, we have opportunity to build. The opportunity that we're building, we're trying to establish and bring wealth into the community and provide opportunities for people. But at the same time, I'm creating wealth for my family and generations to come. And these are the things that Nip has done and other people are doing. So gentrification, man, no matter how it's scaled, someone is always going to be affected. And the ones who are affected, man, are the ones who are just not, they're just not building. They're welfare bound, man. Just put it that way. Because Robert talked a lot about the poor, a lot about the people who don't have. Well, y'all got to get back and start asking the government to start building some more projects. Which one living back in the projects? Go live in the projects. And y'all can talk about but y'all have projects. Y'all have lower income housing. What happened? Everybody done ran it down. So you want the government to continue to invest all this little money into these little communities that they just run them down. So no matter what you do to a community, if the government's involved or not, it's the people is going to continue to run it down. I remember projects all throughout Southern Cali, man, throughout the IE, Los Angeles, Riverside. There's projects. Projects is full of prostitution, gang violence. It's just nasty and terrible. The landscape is terrible. Every bums is just terrible. So that's the kind of community you want. I don't want that kind of community. I'm going to go ahead and re-gentrify and try to improve it and get rid of some of the ones that don't need to be in it. They got to move somewhere else. Skip town.
But then that leads back to the whole thing of running people under the bus because you want to build. So that's what we're coming back to right now.
See, the projects in San Bernardino, over in IE, they got tore down. It was all projects over there, right across from Walmart.
Yeah.
They got tore down. Everybody lost their homes. Where they go now? Look at the ones over there in Little Africa. It's all tore down. So people lost no matter what, man. But look what was going on over there. A lot of killing, a lot of people getting hurt, man. So, and they tried to improve it. The landscape, some apartments down the way, they look better than the other ones. So so gentrification is going to affect someone no matter what. If it's good, even if it's just bringing a new school in the area or a workout center. Everybody's not gonna be going to that fitness center. You go in certain areas, all you get is what you get over there. You get a Planet Fitness and a Fitness 19. You don't even get a 24-hour fitness. You don't even get an LA Fitness. You don't get nothing luxury. You get the small gyms, but no knock to the small gyms because they building all over the place.
I go to the small gym, $10 a month.
There we go. So, but the small gyms is affordable. They're like $10 a month, so that's affordable for your pockets. So, but I'm saying they have things there for people. They built a gym. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Well, you literally have two different types of people with two different types of mindsets.
Exactly.
You have one that says that, yes, you can do it. And the other person's like, well, I can do it, but I got to work and I got to do this and I got to do that. And they make excuses. And then somebody always kind of gets asked out in the end.
I want the beautiful gym. I'm at 24-hour fitness.
All right, hold on, you guys. Hold on 1 second before Robert get in, because Robert, I know they got you ready to say something. I can see it in your movement back there, and it is taking a lot for you to sit there and let them go on. So hold on, let me read these real quick. Betty Boob says, They don't care about the people though, and they never will. 3 T's. Our partner says money is the root of all evil. People will lie, steal, and cheat to get the bag. Okay. Mark is right. What's up, Marcus? He says free classes are key. Betty Boo says right, 3 T's. Oh, they hollering at each other in the live chat. Marcus Wright says, then we are actually educated. Betty Boo says it's the greed. 3 T's comes back and says, in slavery, they didn't want us to read because they wanted control. How was that changed? 3 T's. Why would they give you all the knowledge to surpass them and theirs? All right. And then the last 2 I'm going to come back to. Robert, I hope I didn't mess up your flow, man.
No.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Tyrone, I'm just going, I resonate. See, that's the whole thing. I know you feel me with this one because you grew up on the east side of Riverside, man. And when you look at the east side of Riverside, you know that even though there were places, certain parts of it that had crime, people own their homes. If you go down Georgia Street, people own their homes. You know what I mean? Over there. That's grandma's house. People own their own homes over there. You know what I mean? Black people, Hispanic people, and they own their own homes. You know?
Okay.
Now, why do you think the government doesn't just come over and help those people move their neighborhood into the future? But when you get onto Front Street, they were tearing everything down on University. You know what I mean? And
making it more innovative.
Right. But did the property value of the person on Georgia Street, did their property value go up because of that? No, it didn't. And there were a couple of blocks down the street. You understand what I'm saying? So to say that because they were this gentrification effort that they were going to do was going to raise the property value of the common folk in that neighborhood, that's ludicrous. That is absolutely not. All it's doing is setting up a situation where you can get off the train and buy stuff. Commercialism, capitalism, right when you step off that train. And the only people that are going to benefit from that financially are the same people that benefit from everything financially, the 1%. But if the government stepped in and said, you know what, we're going to make sure that we're going to come from the ground up and we're going to deal with the people of this neighborhood. And we're going to make sure that the people that own their homes around here, that their property values go up and come from there, those people would have more money to spend in that neighborhood and to control the commercialism in that neighborhood, the same one that they live in, and work in the same neighborhood that they live in. Well, not just as worker bees, but as owners, as the entrepreneurs living the American dream. But the American dream has never been available to those type of people. They've always been the victim of what, and at the mercy of any capitalist decides to come along and take advantage of tax cuts and tax breaks and low property values and things of that nature. And I don't like that.
Okay. Go ahead. Somebody want to jump in? Salik.
Yeah. Robert, should we just have poor communities and those communities can just stay the way they are? So can we just keep them the way they are and don't worry about, because remember, property value only raises its value based upon the development in that area. So if there's no development, if there's no improvement, then the houses in that community they're not worth. I mean, they are what they are worth. They don't sell high. They're not going to be worth anything. But that's like when they remodel their homes, they increase the value. So if my neighbor, in those homes, in those areas, so if there's a lot of home improvement going on in landscaping developments, then that improves the equity of the homes. So
that's right.
If those poor communities were really, well, there is some. If they can stay consistent about the development and the homeness or the homegrownness of their communities, then those are the ones that need to be talking to their city councils about gentrification, because they're the ones there. We're saying government, that's federal situation. We're talking about the city governments, which is the city council, the mayor, the governor. Those are the ones that the city of those communities need to be engaging in conversations with and going down to council and city meetings if they want their communities to look the way they want them to look. And they have to be involved. So if other people saying, if the governor and the mayor and all of these, what they call them general obligation bonds. We get to that another time. The city is ran by general obligation bonds. So it's all about the city has to recoup back what the loan was given. And then you say you got people coming in to try to advance a community, and they're going to spend money to develop it, and it's going to raise the market value of that particular area. Then it benefits the community. It benefits the city in some cases. No, listen. No, it does. Because if it doesn't benefit the city, then why the city allowing it to happen? You see what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
So
it doesn't benefit the city, it benefits the politician. Because
okay, but listen, but hold on, man. Wait a second. Wait, Robert. Listen. Now, if it benefits the city, right? If it doesn't, okay, let's go back. If it benefits the city, who governs the city?
The politicians.
Okay, but let's be more specific.
What do you mean? I can't get more specific than a politician that knows that
who runs the city, man? Don't come on, Robert. Stop playing. Let's go back. You do politics. Robert, stop, brother. You do politics. Let's go back. No, let's go back because you didn't answer the question. Let's start back. Stop, Robert. Who runs the city? You know this. You deal with politics.
Say the people.
No, forget the people. You.
What do you guys know about an oligarchy then?
Hold on. Yeah, because let's Robert. Stop, brother. So, who runs the city of that city? It's the mayor.
Salik got the full court press going on, Robert.
Who runs the city?
You said the politicians, but you have to be more specific. It's the mayor, right?
Okay, the mayor, city council, those people.
The mayor is the one who runs the city, right? Okay.
Right.
And then what about that state?
Right.
The state is ran by that governor. Right. So that city is ran by the state. So the mayor has say so on what happens in that city.
Right.
Right. And so, but with the help, like you said, with the help of other politicians who are involved. So the city does benefit because they're the ones behind it. And so if the city, but the city in your retrospect, meaning that it's the people of the city, they don't benefit. Well, hold on. Well, in some cases, it depends on what has been developed. Yeah, remember, it all depends on what has been developed. Remember, it's immoral or moral. Immoral deals with the conduct, right, of corporations. Moral deals with what? The principle and the caring of others. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I think Tyrone want to say something.
No, I'm laughing because I'm looking over here and Betty Boos and the three both said, "Come on, Robert."
Listen, I'm gonna give you what you're paying for right here. First of all, I'm gonna tell you, hit the like button. Okay, subscribe. This is gonna be worth subscribing for. Listen, the number one indicator of whether someone is going to win a campaign or not in America is by how much money they have in their campaign funds. Mm-hmm. These corporate thugs are funding these politicians, and they don't give a damn what they do after that. You contribute to my campaign, I will let you run wild. You'll get the tax break, you get everything else. They don't care if you take advantage of the people as long as I can be in power once you do. That's the whole point. You were kind of scratching the surface on that. But you got to understand that the politicians that are supposed to be the ones that we can go and talk to about this, like you said, go talk to the city council, stuff like that. Guess what? When we talk to them, they're giving lip service, but at the same time, they're really scratching the back of their corporate cronies because the corporate people are the ones that are funding their campaigns so they can remain in office. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. This is where capitalism and politics meet. That's where gentrification lives, man. Mm-hmm. That's why I said it's immoral.
All right. So Robert wasn't running, y'all. He was just taking it in. Go ahead, Nasha. Nasha, can you stay with us or do you got to run?
Few more minutes, because
All right, jump in.
yeah. Okay, so what I was going to say is that about the oligarchy thing, I know that everyone runs basically the government runs everything. The problem is that we don't realize that we can actually run everything. We just choose not to because we're so focused on trying to have somebody else, run things for us. But the reason why our society, or basically our neighborhoods, are failing is because we don't work together to kind of help push up our neighborhoods. There's not enough people wanting to work together because everybody's being selfish in a way. I really don't explain it, but for the gentrification thing, it made me think of there's literally 3 different sectors out here in San Bernardino, and they're not even that far from each other. There is, or I used to live off of 21st Street, and they actually got rid of a lot of people over there because of all the drugs and the violence and the gangs and all that different stuff, just to try to make way for new people to come in. Um, and then they still have like rent control and all that different stuff. So it's like a certain amount of people in that population. But then if you go up the street, not even maybe 5 to 10 minutes, you have the rich district, which doesn't make any sense. But over there, there's no buses can get over there. So you're not going to have anyone from over my neighborhood going over there. And it just seems like they're kind of all put into their own little boxes, and we don't realize that that's what they're doing to us when we can all pretty much be a rich type of population. One thing I was going to say before I go is that if you guys do want free classes, especially when it comes to marketing, I bet you all you got to do is to go to one of these multi-level marketing meetings, and you can actually learn a lot of stuff. I unfortunately was in Primerica for 2 years, but I learned a lot about marketing. And I learned a lot about trying to build, not just for myself, but a whole community of people who were wanting to be money business minded. And I think it kind of goes from there in a way. I'm sorry, I'm getting emails back and forth from something.
They hitting the hotline. Go ahead.
It's my interview. I gotta go do in a few minutes. But I think the one thing that we don't want to do is help each other out. We need to push the issue of why it's so important to kind of build a better financial situation in all our neighborhoods. I think we can overrun a lot of things we just are too afraid to, and nobody's going to speak up for it.
Okay. Let me ask you a question before you get out of here. Was Nipsey Hussle gentrifying Crenshaw and Slauson?
Yeah, I can see that, and in a positive manner.
And is positive manner. So you said it's positive manner.
In my opinion, yeah, because he, like I said, I was reading the article, and like I said, he found a book on multi-level marketing, and he was figuring what he could do from there and where he could build from there, and then he was going to take that mind frame and go and push it everywhere he could possibly push it. The shares, the things that he was flipping, the things that he was turning. If he had went a little bit further, he could have taught that same exact mind frame to a bunch of people out there in Slauson, in LA. And the thing is that he got killed for it because I really don't know the real reason. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying that I think he was trying to. No, I'm sorry. I won't. But it's an idea. Everything starts with an idea, and then he did the second thing was he put it into motion, and then once he put it into motion, it started building and it started increasing and then going from there. And it would have been a positive change if everyone had just taken fire of it themselves. If they're like, oh my God, I want to do the same exact thing he's doing. And everyone developed that mind frame and learned how to kind of get into that multi-level marketing, I'm pretty sure that they could have increased the entire neighborhood for those who wanted to.
Okay. All right, Nashane, go handle your interview and call me and let me know how it go. But make sure you hurry up and edit it and get it on so you don't leave the people waiting. Nashane, all right. Thank you.
Right. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye.
Right,
Peace.
bye.
Peace, Nash.
Bye.
All right, hold on. Let me put on my Rocky music. Somebody got some Rocky music to cue up. You cue up the Rocky music. Ding, ding, ding. Round one. No, I'm just playing. These two guys right here been almost edging at a debate here lately. Well, for a while. And Salik, I do remember you saying, I can't wait to get you. I finally got you. I finally got you. But this isn't anything organized, so I guess you ain't got him today. But so yeah, you guys go ahead and let me get your final thoughts on the on gentrification and what do you think? And we can talk or about the morality of it or the need or other need of it. Let me ask you one question, Robert. I wanted to ask you earlier. So gentrification should always be a government thing? It should always be government ran? Are you saying there's never no room for private industry when it comes to gentrification or revitalizing a neighborhood?
I think that regulation is important. If you're going to allow, of course, this is America, but you know what? I think that we have trusted corporate America way more than we should, and it's our politics starts with our leadership. Our politicians trust corporate America or have sold out to corporate America, as it were, and sold the people out. And I think that the government needs to be more responsible in holding corporate interests more responsible, because corporations are not going to check themselves. They're going to always go for the money. But the government has a responsibility to the people. And when you see a government that's actually responsible to the people, they step in, they see opportunities where where corporate interests can capitalize on the people, and they check those. It's all about checks and balances. That's all that matters.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead and sit you up. Give me your thoughts. Well, was Nipsey gentrifying his neighborhood? Again, since we started there, and I'm gonna show the image of the article while you guys go ahead and give this last final thought on it before we move on. Go ahead, Robert. Sorry about that.
Obviously, that's gentrification. Now, I don't know the man. I didn't know him. I don't know his heart. Maybe he would have been looking for more responsible ways to do it than we've done in the past. But the way that it was setting up, the people he was bringing around him, there were maybe some pros and some cons. It would have been interesting to see what would have come about it, because I do know, from what people that know him and have said about him, that he had a different kind of level of heart for his people. So maybe he would have changed my mind about the possibilities of gentrification, but we'll never know.
Okay. Salik, what do you think? Gentrification, and was Nipsey gentrifying, and was it a good thing, bad thing? What's your view of it?
Yes, gentrification was happening in the community. Robert mentioned earlier the American dream, which is what? Equality or equal opportunities. So if folks can have that, I think the opportunities are given. It's just those who are willing to take the opportunity. But gentrification was happening, and he was connecting with people who had financial stability. Anytime you're moving in a position to increase or to advance something, remember, you are who your friends are. So if your circle is small and the money's small, then the opportunities for growth is small. So he had connected, it was his mindset. He had connected with like-minded individuals, and these individuals have financial stability. And they connected with this vibration frequency on this thought. And so the development happened with like-minded people, and the financial backing was there. It was a mutual thing with financial wealth. So the financial wealth, like we said, man, we can will in what we want and what we need for our lives. So the gentrification was happening in the community, and I believe it was for the greater good, for the community and himself and his family, to increase his own wealth, and also to increase and to bring opportunity in that particular community as well, which was under the guise of being duplicated by others. So it was something to start off to duplicate. You know what I'm saying? If the wheel is spinning, let's ride that wheel. You see what I'm saying? So
okay.
Which is but yeah, that's it on that, man. But yeah, gentrification for sure.
And you're saying that he was probably spinning it in a positive way, that the gentrification definitely can be positive. You say that it brings up a community, and it's an opportunity for people to make money. Robert says it's immoral, right?
It's only immoral if it's only immoral based upon the conduct. But like Robert said, he doesn't know this individual. So it's speculations. See what I'm saying? Because what happens, the conduct shows action. And when there's action, then there's what we call evidence.
Right. The
At
results.
least a fact.
The
The
results
results
would
is
have
there.
proven.
Right. So everything else would just be speculation. But we will look at the word immoral. It only deals with the conduct of someone. And like we said, is to work for the greater good of the populace or the corporations.
Right. And
All
I said
right.
that he might have been able to prove me wrong because they said he was a good brother and they said that he had a heart for people, the people that knew him. So
Yes, sir.
maybe he would have had something in the works. But the way that it was shaping up right there, what he was doing and the way he was gathering the people that he was gathering and taking advantage and the way he was taking advantage was the same as any other capitalist. So why would I think anything different until the results were different?
Okay.
Okay. All right, you guys. And again, here, let me leave the I want to make sure you guys have a reference point so you know what we were talking about. It's an article from Forbes, and you can go to Forbes.com and get it. It's called Inside Nipsey Hussle's Blueprint to Become a Real Estate Mogul. And it was written February 20th, 2019 by Zachary O'Malley Greenberg. Again, that was from Forbes. And so, yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on from that. And we're going to get into this Facebook ban. Facebook been banning people. I guess Facebook been pissing people off here. I'm gonna share the screen again real quick. Show you what I got. All right. All right. This article is from BBC News. It's written by David Lee on May 3rd, 2019. Facebook is banning several prominent figures it regards as dangerous individuals. The social media network accused Alex Jones, host of right-wing conspiracy website InfoWars, its UK editor Paul Joseph Watson, and ex-Breitbart co-editor Emilio Yiannopoulos of hate speech. And I laugh because I have a hard time saying his name. Robert had to send it to me in small increments last week. Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam leader who has expressed anti-Semitic views, will also be excluded. Facebook has already banned anti-Islamic UK groups like Britain First. The latest ban also applies on Instagram, which Facebook owns. We've always banned individuals or organizations that promote or engage in violence and hate, regardless of ideology, the company said in a statement. The process for evaluating potential violators is extensive, and it is what led us to our decision to remove these accounts today. The ban group also included Paul Nehlen, a white supremacist, Laura Loomer, an anti-Islamic activist with large social media presence. In November, Ms. Lumen handcuffed herself to the Twitter building in New York, protested at being banned from the platform. So I guess she was banned from Twitter. However, Facebook has been criticized for forewarning of the bans, giving the affected a chance to redirect their followers to other services. All right. For a brief time on Thursday, Alex Jones was broadcasting on Facebook about his impending ban. I'm about to be banned, Mr. Yiannopoulos wrote to his followers on Instagram. Please sign up for my mailing list before this account disappears. A spokesperson at Facebook said the ban will apply to all types of representation of the individuals on both Facebook and Instagram. The firm said it will remove pages, groups, and accounts set up to represent them and will not allow the promotion or of events when it's known the banned individual is participating. All right. And then it go on down there and it says what they're banned for. Let me see. It said Alex Jones had hosted a program. Gavin McInnes, leader of the Proud Boys, whose members are known for racist, anti-Muslim, misogynistic rhetoric. Mr. McInnes has been designated as a hate figure by Facebook. Facebook said this year, Mr. Milo Yiannopoulos have publicly praised both McClinnis and English Defense League leader found Tommy Robbins, both banned from the network. Laura Loomer also appeared with Mr. McClinnis, and Facebook said she also praised another banned figure, Faith Godley, a Canadian. Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan was banned for making several anti-Semitic remarks earlier this year. All right, fellas, let's talk about this real quick. I'm gonna ask you guys off the top. Let me start with you, Salik. Is this freedom of speech? I've seen a whole lot of people saying that this is freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech on the program network that has bylaws, rules, regulations, and everything else that people don't even go and read. They just sign up and they don't even read the blueprint. They don't even go back and they don't read the clauses. So is it a freedom of speech? Yeah, it could be a freedom of speech, but maybe anytime you're on a private platform, the freedom of speech can be limited. It could be limited based on because remember, it's a private entity. Freedom of speech in the Constitution deals with public. It deals with things that has to do with the Constitution, freedom of speech on particular venues, et cetera, et cetera. But when it becomes a private entity, they're not subjected to the Constitution in that respect. So I'm gonna go back and just say they have to go back and read what they signed up for. They go back and read it. Y'all, everybody clicking and wanting to join Facebook, but are you reading what Facebook can do to you if they deem necessary under their rule that something is threatening or whatever, that they can remove or delete your account? You see what I'm saying? But we also got to understand what platform that we are using. We are using a Jewish platform. And so anytime, well, people who understand who understands America, and who understands Israel, and who understands economics and business, we have to understand who is the man, who is the hand, who's the money hand. And I may sound way off on some people, but that's cool. We're on a Jewish platform. Zuckerberg is a Jewish man. He's the richest Jewish guy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's worth like $71 billion. So it's his platform. And so for him to push with others, people like who they call anti-Semitic, right? Or right-wingers or whatever however they discuss it, it's people who actually speak out publicly against racism, white supremacy, from a perspective that the Jewish people are in control. You see what I'm saying? Through media, content, et cetera, et cetera. And so it can definitely be devastating and a blow to that particular community, because they want to continue to stay in control. They want to stay in control of what you say, how you say it, and no one better not ever come up or talk about Jew. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't need to be. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to jump into something else, but more so. But yes, it could be a freedom of speech based upon. I mean, they have to go back and look at the clauses, but it could be freedom of speech may not apply to a private platform.
All right, Robert, what do you think? Is it a freedom of speech issue? And have you guys heard that, or is it just me that heard certain people saying it's freedom of speech? Their Facebook is banning people's freedom of speech. Is it freedom of speech? They banning my speech, Robert?
Salik hit the nail on the head in terms of the freedom of speech area of it. It's a private platform. This is a business. They're running a business. They're actually going to have less customers or less value in the marketplace by allowing scum of the earth type people to come on there and spout their hatred and whether it's anti-Semitism, whether it's racism, whether it's you gotta go. See, the thing is, I say it to all you people that think this is a freedom of speech issue and want to fight and defend. Is this the hill you want to die on? Is this the hill you want to die on? Gavin McInnes, you know what, Tyrone, because I know a lot of the people that listen to your show and watch your show, I doubt they know who Gavin McInnes is. A lot of the time. They need to go look at what kind of scumbag motherfucker this dude is. First of all, Giannopoulos, this dude is a scum of the earth. He promotes a white ethno state, basically where he promotes ethnic cleansing and those type of things. Okay, these are the people. This is the hill you want to die on, people. Talking about freedom of speech. First of all, hate speech is not protected under the First Amendment of the Constitution. Right. There's a thing called fighting words. You can't talk about if you talk about somebody's mama, that's not protected speech. Did you know that? Right. You can't be just spewing out hatred and saying whatever you think you want. You can't, just like you can't yell fire in a movie theater or something like that, right? But you can't do that. And then secondly, all these guys you're talking about, they already have platforms. Louis Farrakhan was famous before Facebook. He goes around the country speaking. He's invited to a lot of places to speak, and he can say whatever he wants about the damn Jews. Okay, so Facebook isn't stopping him. Okay.
Hey, you guys about to get this video taken down. Talking about. Sorry about that. Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Robert. And what I did also was I brought up the screen to show some of the things that are not protected as a freedom of speech, so people can read that as you're speaking. Go ahead, Robert.
Oh, exactly. So look, and some of these dudes that you're deciding, this woman and these men that you're trying to defend are some of the scummiest, most disgusting, despicable people on the face of the earth, because they control the minds of masses of people, and they're the reason that some people go out and spew. Sometimes the reason that you got called a nigger was because of something that somebody heard from one of these people. Okay, Alex Jones, give me a break. This guy actually said that Sandy Hook never happened, and was actually going to people's homes of the victims, trying to look for those kids, like those kids didn't actually die. This is the scum you want to defend? This is what you're calling freedom of speech? It's despicable. And if you want to defend these people, go right on ahead. But if I see you and I call you an idiot and a scumbag, don't be surprised.
All right.
Hey, Robert, also too with that, man, with Alex Jones, you know what I do know, I used to follow him, man. Let me hear you. I used to follow him back in years ago because of his content and his connection to Jesse Ventura, who was the mayor. So I was looking at some of the things that he used to talk about and do, but he deals with a lot. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say some things when he starts to question government and about the Sandy Hook and stuff like that, or whatever, all the other stuff he does as well. You know, he's a little, how should I say this? He tries to expose government cover-ups in some fashion or form. And so he tried to see if things have been planted or as a way of trying to promote fear amongst the populace through government, what we call government, not conspiracies, but government, what are those things when you're trying to plan something? I can't even think right now. It's crazy. When you're trying to plan something, and I guess, but
that's what it is, though.
Yeah, okay, I roll with that. But I think that's another word I'm looking for.
Conspiring.
I'll get to it later. It should come to me. The professor got to think. But I got to think. But look, man, let's take a look at this though, because a lot of times that, you know, we forget, we don't understand the Constitution in some respect. So we had to go back. So if we go back to the Constitution of the United States and of the 1789 Constitution and go to the First Amendment, I want you to put that on the screen so that we can read it, because there's verbiage in there to be very clear about the First Amendment speech and who was it specifically geared to, so that they would not control the masses or the people. Because remember, we're talking about a constitution that was set up for what? Republics. Republics is for the people, by the people, not democracies or corporations and stuff like that. So when you, all right, so I'm waiting on you. So when you get here, we're gonna take a look at this right quick. And so just so that the viewers and everybody else who's talking about this stuff, man, we'll just have a more clear, concise, information on, how we using terms of freedom of speech or whatever, if we anything in the future. Because if I say something wrong, I want somebody to definitely help me out and clear me up so that I can learn from what I made mistakes on. But if I'm wrong in this, let's see here. What you got here? It says, okay, look, it says the First Amendment, right, to the United States Constitution prevents the government from making laws which respects and established of religion, prohibit the free exercise of religion, or abridge the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the right to peaceably assemble, of the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. Okay, when we look at that term, it says the Constitution prevents the government from making laws which, in respect, does not.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. So you're saying it's the government. So it has to be the government restricting you for it to be going against your constitutional right.
Exactly. So in a private entity, your freedom of speech is not valid. It doesn't have merit.
The professor breaking out the Constitution on Soapbox Heroes. Check it out. Go ahead, Professor.
I just wanted to do that, man. So when we talking, people ain't all emotional driven. Get out your feelings and just get into how this corporate world plays.
Okay.
No disrespect to nobody though. But
like no. It's good to give some context and show people what you're talking about. The three T's says, I always read the fine print. They not about to get me nor catch me slipping.
That's right, T. That's right. 2T. 2T or 3T. What is that? 3T or 2T?
3T.
3T. What's up now? I see you, fam.
She said you ain't said nothing wrong, Salik. It's Professor Salik. Betty Boo's got some laughs in here. Latasha French says, if you're doing business on any of these platforms, you better be building your email contact list. They can wipe your business out in seconds.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Betty Boobs says, there's no freedom. It just sounds good. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, hey, Betty Boo. And now listen, Betty Boo may be onto something, because when we're dealing with, like Robert knows, this is capitalism, right? Mm-hmm. And we're dealing with a corporate structure. See, we don't understand the corporate structure. Remember, after 1933, the United States was bankrupt. So in order for them to have collateral or finances to establish themselves, they had to sell the people as collateral. So everybody who's working, doing everything here are slaves to the establishment, which is the corporation. And we'll talk about it on a different show, but it's a corporate game. So that's why we have to study commerce. This is commercial law. This is all uniform commercial. We have to understand the amity law, man, because everything is based upon corporate law. So even with these codes and in these city codes and ordinance, those are all based upon corporations and who benefits from those corporations. We go back to what we call general obligation bonds from every state, every city, every state has one, and it's a loan paid out by the big bankers. So, so all this banning stuff going on, we just need to continue to do what we're doing to wake up the mass of people, because people are waking up all over, man. And it's a great feeling to see so many people become awakened, have conscience. Consciousness means what? To be aware, to know, because too many of us have been asleep. We've been walking around like zombies with our eyes open. And now some of us are like, wait a second, this don't feel right. That don't seem right. Now we're starting to question, we're starting to read, we're starting to ask questions, we're starting to get answers, and we're starting to feel good about ourselves because now we're starting to find out things. So it's good that they are putting it back. It just exposes them even more. Everything can just continue to expose and continue to expose. And this is the reason why do for self is very important. Mm-hmm. Self-determination, Black brothers and sisters, my kings and queens, my gods and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? The Hispanics and everyone else. But I speak of those terms, but I'm not going to define what I mean by each time I said it. But y'all know. But listen.
No. Break them down.
We did that on another note when I started talking more specific about it. But, you know, we just need to pay attention, continue paying attention. And when there are people talking about building platforms that we can build by us, for us, then let's start supporting those particular campaigns or those particular organizations or platforms. Let's do it, because that's going to build. Even though they're small, it may be 7 of us on there. That's cool. Maybe 20 of us in the next 40 days. So let's just get on those other platforms where we can speak and have our voices without being censored.
Right.
So
right. And Eat P LLC says it's their platform. So
exactly, it's their platform. We can't be mad at how they're going to run their own platform. Let them run it. Let's continue to build and grow as we can, and let's expose them. They're going to expose themselves, and we can just continue to try to build our own technologies, softwares, and systems so that we can get on our own platform, so we won't have to be censored.
All right. Let me ask you this, Robert, and I will center it. I'm not going to center it around race, but I am going to ask you a question that I observed. How come up and down my timelines and things that I'm looking at, all I see is people only talking about Louis Farrakhan? How come the focus for some people is only on Louis Farrakhan as if he was the only person to get banned? I've even seen people say they banned everybody else just to cover up the fact that they really wanted Farrakhan. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's Facebook algorithm, first of all. So that's why you're getting that.
They need to leave me alone.
That's the Facebook algorithm. But
okay.
The people, I'm sad that I'm even, you asked, so I'm answering, but I'm sad that this even has to be addressed. This is a non-issue. This is foolishness for someone to think that they abandoned the other people just to get to Farrakhan, just to cover up the fact that they're targeting Farrakhan. Like if they would have just banned Farrakhan, not those other people, you wouldn't have been able to do nothing about it anyway, and you'd still be on Facebook anyway, and they know it. So come on, give me a break. Stop acting like you're going to do some kind of like that would have caused some kind of mass exodus. He is a controversial figure. He's loved by many, no doubt. But the reason people are saying that is because like anything else, it is just remnants of a victimhood mentality that I believe is phasing out in Black people anyway. We always want to look through but past the conspiracy behind the conspiracy.
Right.
Look, he talked about Mark Zuckerberg is a Jew. Everyone here can think of a time, if you close your eyes and think about it, where you've heard Mr. Farrakhan called either Jews the devil or said something. Like really, we can all think of it. If you've heard Mr. Farrakhan speak at any number of times, you have heard him say something against Jews, not to the effect of where just about Jews like in a passing sense, but the Jews are the devil is something he says frequently in a lot of his talks. So what did you expect? You think that people are just going to tolerate that? If somebody comes on your page and calls you a nigger, you're going to block them. So quit, you know what I mean? So don't act like that Facebook's doing something you wouldn't have done.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. That seemed pretty cut and dry. That was it, man. Hey, y'all better leave Robert alone. What was that song? You don't want no problem.
Give me a fist pump, dog. Ooh.
All right. Hey, look, since I don't really see fit to talk about that too much. So look, you guys mind if I throw you a curveball real quick?
Just a curveball, bro.
Just a quick curveball. I'm gonna show you guys a picture. I want you guys to read the caption on top. Look at the picture and then tell me what you think, and we can end the show on that. You guys had no clue I was going to do this. It just crossed my mind as I heard Robert dropping all the microphones in the country.
Hey, what's in the comments, man?
What's in the comments? Let me see. They talking about I'll bring the donuts. and Betty Boo said she'll bring the donuts, and 3T said I'll bring the apples. Let me catch up.
We having this party. Where we gonna have this party at?
Yeah.
Y'all. What's up, y'all? Come on, y'all.
Yeah, I can't turn down the party. I can't say no.
Nah,
can't say no.
I'm getting to my comedics, my comedic way now. Y'all got me loose. I'm about to start getting funny on y'all. Start throwing some jokes.
Hey, it's all right. You know, no, I got a joke for you. Somebody earlier said, Salik, you think you're smart because you read books.
Hey, man, I'm trying to get this knowledge, baby.
Real talk.
Hey, but what I always say, T, I always say I'm a what first?
You're a student first.
Always, man.
All right, see, man, I'm glad I'll be listening. You know, people be acting like they be listening. I'm glad I'll be listening, Robert. I'd have been stuck. All right. Here, you guys, I'm about to put something on the screw, and we'll go from here. This will just be a little something fun real quick, and we'll get out of here. Tell me when all right, let me know what you think. And read the caption at the top.
Oh, shit.
Making sure everybody have enough time to digest that properly.
Hey, Robert, let me read this to you. Watch this. Look, somebody said, Uncle Tom ass. Look, Nigger Woods received presidential medal. But it says Tiger Woods, but it says Nigger Woods received presidential medal.
Off top.
And look, and I cut off the person. As you see, look, you see the snipping tool. I did this while we were talking because I seen it on our Facebook, and so I cut out their pictures, you know, for anonymity of the person. So look, you guys tell me. Let me go ahead and end this. And again, the caption says, "Uncle Tom ass, USAToday.com. Tiger Woods receives presidential medal of freedom from Donald Trump at the White House. Tiger grinning ear to ear." All right, you guys. Robert, give me your thoughts on that.
Okay, easy money. Basically, so who the person that posted that, I hope they're watching right now.
I doubt it.
If Barack Obama would have been the one tying the medal around his neck, would he still be an Uncle Tom? So, because it's like, what is your real problem? Are you mad that he's receiving a medal from the United States, the Medal of Freedom? Or are you mad because it's Donald Trump giving it to him? Because he didn't pick the president that gave it to him. He came to receive the medal. The only reason you know what the motherfucking Masters is because Tiger Woods, okay? Tiger Woods went somewhere and broke down boundaries for Black people in places that do you understand that there's country clubs that allow Black people to come play now because Tiger Woods was the first Black person to play in that? Do you understand that he is the reason that a lot of Black people, Black children were introduced to the game of golf, which is a great game. It teaches patience. It teaches, skills. It's athletic, but it's something that a lot of people can play at any level of athleticism. You know what I mean? And it's and he broke down barriers. Do we remember when Fuzzy Zeller told him, don't serve fried chicken next year at the Masters the first time he won? And the things that he had to go through in order to be on the level that he's on. Why can't we as Black people look at somebody like Tiger Woods and say, that's excellence right there? Why can't we appreciate the level of excellence of someone that could be regarded arguably as the greatest golfer of all time, not just Black golfer, one of the greatest golfers of all time? You understand what I'm saying? So it's the problem that they received it from a guy that you don't like. Is that the problem, that he received that medal? Do you really have a problem with Tiger Woods, or do you have the problem with Donald Trump? And if you have a problem with Donald Trump, you shouldn't be calling Tiger Woods a Uncle Tom. He doesn't deserve that from you because you didn't swing one golf club for him. Okay. You wasn't there with him. You probably didn't send him an email or anything like that when his dad died and he still had to perform in these tournaments. You know what I mean? And you wasn't there when he was going through his hard stuff. So don't judge him now. Okay. That's just another black man striving to be the best man that he can be. And just because it's not something that looks like something that you would do, it don't make him an Uncle Tom. Sitting back, typing Uncle Tom on a face, that's Uncle Tom shit.
All right, Robert. And look, I brought up another picture, not because I want to show you Tiger, not because I want to show you Barack. I want to focus in on your favorite person in the world, Uncle Joe.
Creepy Joe was trying to look through Obama's arm to see if he could see somebody's booty, see some little young lady's booty or something. That's what
All right, Salik, I had to ask you one time about the Uncle Joe. He been talking about Uncle Joe just a little bit in his political commentary. What did you think about the caption and the picture of Tiger Woods getting that medal?
Man, okay. First of all, we go with the term Uncle Tom ass nigga. Mm-hmm. We understanding that in its whole totality. I don't know if Robert wanted to touch on that, but me and you were talking about that earlier. Mm-hmm. We were talking about how people were misunderstanding the term Uncle Tom and how they were using it. So how am I going to approach this topic right here? Because that was a good one.
I told you I was going to throw you a curveball.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right. So for those who think Uncle Tom is what Tiger Woods is, it's not. That's not. You want to look at his name is Josiah Henson. Mm-hmm. Josiah Henson was enslaved with his family, and he was actually fighting for the freedom of the slaves on the plantation, and he led them through escape routes. He was like the Harriet Tubman, you know what I'm saying? So he did a lot for the slaves, and he was actually sold into slavery separate from his mother, and so he was separated, you know what I'm saying? So he did some damn good. So he was not an Uncle Tom. So that is a misunderstanding on the name, and how the name Uncle Tom came to be anyway was from an author who wrote the book, which was
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin. There you go, man. So it goes more into that history of it, and I don't have enough time to talk about it in detail, but just understand that is a poor definition of Uncle Tom as far as how they're trying to say it. It's a misunderstanding, misinformed information. That's what I'm saying. They're misinformed. So they need to have a re-education of the Negro. We need some re-education of the Negro. and then him getting this medal. Okay, cool. Tiger Woods rock with white folks. You know, that's his thing. My little Joy came in right now, so she's trying to get her daddy. She gave me a hug. So
hey, you got to get him hugs.
Okay. So we understand that he rocks with him, right? There's nothing wrong with the photo. There's nothing wrong with the photo because that's what Tiger Woods is. He felt comfortable around that type of people. He even said, didn't he say? He said it years ago when he got locked up from all the shit he was doing that he was Cabalasian. Cabalasian. He's Cabalasian. But we look at a black man. Why? Because his mother is from Asia. I'm sorry. She's from Thailand.
Right.
His mother's from Thailand and his father is what? He's an American.
Right.
So how he is what he's saying he is. I never heard of that before, but so I had to go. That means I have to do some research. But he's not even claiming any of his origins of having anything of black nativity via Native American, via indigenous, tribal, whatever the hell. He's not claiming nothing. He said, I'm Thailand. He said, whatever the hell he said. What's it? Cabalasian?
Cabalasian.
So man, let this man go ahead and rock with who he rock with. Let him feel good. He came back from all that shit he went through. He came back and kicked them dudes' ass, man. So The dude showed his talents, man. He's very good. So I had nothing against Tiger Woods and what he do, man. When we see the ones who expose themselves for who they are, hey, man, that's a green flag or that's a green light. Okay? We know we ain't, it's a go on him. Move him out the way. We keep moving past the other ones. So we know who to watch for. We know who to look for. So we know that he ain't going to, listen, y'all. We don't need to be upset about that. Let that man shine in his light while we shine in ours. And then we know what side he on. That's all.
All right. So you just saying, why be surprised when he's already showed you who he is? Go on and let him live. That's his life. That's what is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we just know when we just know that we just know for the ones who know what we're trying to do, we're trying to build, and we just ain't fucking with him on those levels. But if we can be, if he can be used for some purpose for the greater good, for the our population and what we're trying to do,
Tiger's done a great deal for Black people, and he doesn't owe anybody anything.
Exactly, he owes nothing, man. Let him live his life.
Okay. All right, you guys, man. I got one more curveball. Y'all got like 2 minutes. Just for fun. Y'all got a couple more minutes for another curveball.
What kind of curveball is this, man?
It's a whole different. It's a curveball, but it's in a whole nother way. You know, just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. I can't help it. I like that I have you guys here. You know, I love it when I get company. You know, when you don't have no company and somebody come over and you don't want them to leave.
What the hell is this?
All right. Tiffany Haddish went to the Met Gala and she started passing out fried chicken out of her purse. And so now people are saying that they feel like she is she's filling stereotypes of Black people by her actions. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that she's fulfilling negative stereotypes of Black people by going to the Met Gala and passing out fried chicken that she had in her purse?
Right. I don't think so. I think Black people liking, first of all, Black people liking fried chicken is a good stereotype. I don't see anything wrong with that stereotype. I don't. I love fried chicken. I had a friend, just to give a quick story. I had a friend, a white friend. He wasn't racist on any level. And we're just sitting there. We're playing Tiger Woods golf, and this was like 2006. So we was playing Tiger Woods golf, and we're playing. And he says, he says to me, he's like, "You love fried chicken, huh?" And I said, "You love fried chicken too?" He said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "But how many times have you had fried chicken this week?" And I said, 5 times. He was like, "See, I had fried chicken yesterday, and that's the first time I had fried chicken in a month. So we both love fried chicken, but you love fried chicken, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I get it." You understand what I'm saying? So
okay, I hear you.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Who cares? You know, Tiffany Haddish is not funny. Plain and simple. She bombed in Miami on New Year's Eve because she's not funny. And this is her reaching. This is to her is something comedic, something else she did that bombed. It's not funny, and it's just jokes. And to take it any further than that and give it more attention than that is, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? People that are funny also agree she's not funny. Because Cat Williams, I remember. Did you ever see that clip with Cat Williams on the
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When he said that Tiffany Haddish wasn't funny, then he started getting on old girl on the radio show. Mm-hmm. Had her husband chasing after him and everything because he was pounding her so bad. Yeah. I mean, if Cat Williams doesn't think you're funny, I'm going to agree with him because he understands comedy from a technical standpoint. He's one of the greatest comedians of all time. So she's just not funny. This was her reaching. Big deal.
All right. EP LLC says, yeah, fried chicken tastes good. the
damn right.
the T said she was saying last year that there wasn't enough food, so she came prepared this time. Smart to me. I'm just saying. Betty Boo says, ha ha ha. Well, I love fried chicken.
Right,
man. 3T says, separate yourself from the negative people, period. Salik, what do you have to say? And we're going to end it on that. What do you think? Is she perpetuating negative stereotypes of Black people by showing up at the Met Gala with a purse full of drumsticks and wings fried?
Stereotype. Well, we know black folks. We know based upon the culture and depending on the upbringing of of the black families. Some families didn't grow up on fried chickens. Most of us did. I grew up on some fried chicken, man. And so it's not a stereotype thing. But as I got older, I stopped eating the fried chicken. But it's something, man. You know what? I supported Tiffany, man, when she used to do salmon well. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I remember that.
I was a supporter of hers, man. So I used to rock.
She wasn't funny then either.
Nah, she's not funny, but she had funny moments. You know what I mean? She has funny moments, but Robert says she's reaching, and in some aspects, I say that she could be reaching. But let's look at it like this: she is a comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she likes to tell jokes and she wants to portray, likes to be funny. So taking chicken to a, what was this? What was this called? What was this?
It's the Met Gala.
The Met Gala. Taking chicken wings to the Met Gala. Let Tiffany see. Tiffany is being Tiffany in her own way, and so she do a lot of silly off shit already. So that people would think it's kind of off, but this is how she got branded. This is how she's branded. It's to be different, to be spontaneous like this. Like she bring a chicken. I'm surprised she didn't have a chicken wing hat. You know what I mean? So, or some feather. But you know, I got nothing to say about that. You know, she just being her, man. She's being authentic. You know
all right, to herself. I heard a commentary earlier, I think by Boyce Watkins, and he was going in on her, saying that she's feeding into the negative stereotypes about black people. He was also saying that she does the things that white people want you to do. And so that's why I asked that question, because then I seen a whole bunch of people commenting on it and saying that she does whatever it takes to please certain people. And that's why she's bringing fried chicken, because only fried chicken only be funny to certain kind of people. So that's why I brought it up. Go ahead.
Boyce Watkins, the broke financial advisor.
I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Hey,
who's going to go in? Hey.
I'm drinking my
who's gonna go in on you, boys, when you're going in on Tiffany? While you're going in on Tiffany, it's just jokes, man. You ain't got, if you're on your grind like you say, man, you ain't got time for her.
All right,
leave her alone. Right.
Any more curveballs before we get out of here?
No more curveballs. I want to thank you guys. This has been Soapbox Heroes. Robert and Salik today came with it as usual, and the funny part is, Salik been waiting to debate Robert. I don't remember on exactly what, and it still ain't happened today. It is just us three. But one day we might get it in. I want to thank you guys for watching again. You guys let people know where to find you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm on Facebook, Robert Kelly. You're gonna see me live. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, subscribe here to Soapbox Heroes.
Thank you, Robert.
And then because trust me, great shows like this all the time. If you haven't watched the one that we did on the ADOS movement, man, that one was great. Take some time to go ahead and look at that. Watch the whole thing. You know, it's absolutely riveting. I was riveted and I was on the show. But also look out. I'm so super excited about the Best Case Scenario podcast coming out at the end of June here. I'm going to be working closely with Tyrone and to grow this network. I see Soapbox Heroes as being a network, not just a show, a network though. And us all working together to make something bigger than what it is and represent Black media out here and to really get some information out to the people. So look for much, much more from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notifications every time a video comes out or every time we go live, okay?
All right, thank you, Robert. And again, that's going to be the Best Case Scenario. I've been trying to get Robert to come and do some things, and we're working on it. I believe in scale. Work together. Make it happen. Salik as well. Salik, let the people know where to find you, Professor.
Peace, family. Y'all can find me on YouTube as well under Salik YFL. I haven't posted any videos lately because I've been studying. I've been in the lab doing a lot of work. So I'm going to get back on, start putting some more videos out. Salik YFL on Instagram as well. And I have 2 pages. I have a like page on Facebook and also to a regular personal page on Facebook. So it's the same name, it's a different photo. So I got to start posting more there as well. So y'all can find me there, and then find me here on Soapbox Heroes. You know what I'm saying? Me and Tyrone be talking also about connecting and doing some things, and we mentioned Robert in our conversation one time, as you know, as one of the assets to
see. Robert, I talk highly about you even behind your back.
so yeah,
you're the
man,
only one. That's
so we gonna come on here and just build, man. So I'm looking to build with y'all and continue to build with the audience as well, with everybody who comes on and view, you know, because you guys are important. You guys are important. You guys help make Soapbox Heroes, you know, from all the viewership. So like you said, like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and also too, go like our personal pages as well, you know.
Yes, indeed.
L and Robert as well. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for your comments. Y'all had me laughing today. They was funny.
Apples and donuts.
Donuts and coffee. And I like that. So I may take y'all up on your offer one day. So I may just want to sip with you. And might want to sip with you, but I don't know about eating a donut, but I'll take a bite.
All right, everybody. Betty Boo's. Ha ha. I want to thank you. She just put ha ha. I assume that's a she because her name is Betty. I want to say thank you for watching. 3 T's. You know, it's always better when you are here. You like the comments up. 3 T's. 3 T's is 3 T's. 3 T's is the Johnsons, who is now the 3 T's.
Right.
The 3 T's Johnsons.
That's
but yeah, the 3 T's, I want to thank you for supporting and even telling people to support in the comments. I appreciate you grabbing them by the neck in the comments. Thank you very, very much. Marcus, I want to thank you for watching. EP LLC, I want to thank you for watching. And anybody that watches later, thank you for watching. Anybody that don't watch, we're going to talk bad about you. This is Soapbox Heroes.
We're going to gentrification you out of here.
We're going to eminent domain your space.
We're going to be immoral.
that might be the debate. You know, is real estate immoral? So we're going to get into it. I want to thank everybody for watching again, gentlemen. I want to thank you. You guys are always a display that people can come on, have a rational conversation, and nobody got shot. This is Soapbox Heroes. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.